Grand Archive is continuing to innovate in the trading card game industry, doing something that I have never seen before. It is so interesting, and today we're going to talk all about it. How's it going, Rogues Gallery? And today we're going to talk about Proxias Vault and the implication that it has both on Grand Archive and in the trading card game industry, because I think it is a true innovation, taking nods from digital games, which is something that I've never seen before. I've never seen a physical card game take direct nods from a digital game. Usually it's the other way around, and I think it is truly, truly interesting. Now, because of the way I have this set up, you're not going to be able to read literally all the words because the little box cuts it off here, but we're going to go over Proxias Vault. What is Proxias Vault? Essentially, and we're going to boil this down to like the most base level. Proxias Vault is a way that the Grand Archive developers can introduce new meta-changing cards into the existing Grand Archive card pool without costing you a dime. It is so awesome. It is player friendly and consumer friendly, and it is also just a great way to help buff up decks that are weaker or just alternate things in the meta, creating silver bullet cards. So what they're doing is, during every banned and restricted announcement, they may or may not introduce new cards into the said Proxias Vault, like the Scepter of Lumina here and the Stonescale Ban. And what these are brand new cards to Grand Archive that you are allowed to proxy yourself, print with your, whatever printer you have, and then they are tournament viable. And what makes them viable is, first of all, the devs said, hey, they're tournament viable, but also they're cards exclusively in your material deck, cards that don't need to be shuffled or randomized, so it doesn't matter if you have a bad proxy or whatever, because it doesn't affect like the deck randomization or anything like that. And on top of that, they're going to be having physical versions of these cards that you can get for free at official Grand Archive events. Once again, very, very consumer friendly. I think this is just a slam dunk on all levels. So let's kind of go in and talk about what they have to say about it. So what is Proxias Vault? In addition to the normal route of correcting metagame issues in competitive play through bans and restrictions, Proxias Vault will serve as another correctional method. Just as cards can be banned and disallowed from competitive play, Proxias Vault will allow us to immediately release new cards that can be freely proxied and printed for tournament play for a duration before an official printing version is required. Proxias Vault will contain cards that can be played in the material deck and serve to creatively solve metagame issues in a way that bans and restrictions cannot, and will also fast-track meta solutions asynchronously with set design and set releases. So it does sound like eventually you'll need to have a real version of the card. I hope they wait until the version of the card is printed in like a booster set, so you don't need the special fancy version, I shouldn't say fancy version, the special, like, harder to obtain version that you can only get at events or anything like that. But they did say they would give these out at events. They said that. That doesn't say it here. I hope that's still true. So just keep that in mind. I still think it's a brilliant idea, though. It says, keep in mind that cards from Proxias Vault can be banned normally, just as normal cards would. In the event a card is banned before it would receive an official printing, that card may be removed from the index altogether. And it says, where can I print cards? You can actually just print them from the print and play here. It'll just take you to their index where they have the two cards available. And as more cards become available for the Proxias Vault, more cards will be added to it. It also says, how can I proxy cards for the Vault? All cards in Proxias Vault will be legal as proxies until December 31st of the year after the copyrighted date of the card. Example, if a card has a copyright date of 2024, it will remain valid as a printed proxy for tournament play until December 1st or 31st of 2025. So that is a long period of time. Once again, I think it's very, very player and consumer friendly. After that date, players are expected to obtain a physical version of the card that is an officially printed Grand Archive TCG card. Yeah, I like that. What guidelines for printing card, yada, yada, yada. Any card printed to be used as a tournament proxy must be printed in full color with all the text easily identifiable and legible. If a player uses a proxy card in the material deck during a tournament, their entire material deck must be sleeved with identical sleeves. If thin or typical printer paper is used to print the proxy cards, they must be held in the sleeve with another Grand Archive card to provide a stiffer backing. Pretty simple stuff, to be honest. And so let's take a look at the cards in question here. The two cards that they made for this. So here we have Scepter of Lumina, which is a 1-cost Regalia item, Cleric Scepter, and it says, as long as each player controls a water element champion, you may activate this card from your material deck. You still pay its cost. So that means you can activate it from your material deck, play it from your material deck outside of your materialization phase if both players are a water element. Otherwise, you can just play it during its normal time. Whenever your champion levels up, deal 4 damage to target champion you don't control. That's awesome. That's a great way to help close out the game for control style decks, which water tends to be, and you can pay 5 and banish it and draw 2 cards. Sweet. This card is really, really cool and helps these really long, grindy control style games actually finish, which is great for, like, you know, competitive tournament play. And then we have Stonescale Ban, a 0-cost Tamer artifact. Class bonus on enter, discard up to 3 ally cards from your hand and or memory, then draw that many cards. Really, really good for getting rid of allies that you can't play or are useless in your situation, and then drawing new cards. I dig it. And then for 1 cost and you rest it until end of turn, you may activate ally cards as though they had fast activation. So you can basically play them at like fast speed on your opponent's turn, which is also pretty cool, which helps you get around some of like removal and you know, that kind of stuff, which is great because you can do it like on like after your opponent's like played all the cards from their hand, or you know, whatever is the most opportune time. And I think adding cards like, so this definitely helps out like ally focused Tamer decks, right? And which are currently struggling. And then you also have this, which helps close out the control games, which control, not the best archetype currently in Grand Archive. And I think this just helps make it that much better. And I think this is just, it's so smart. It is just so good. I love that Grand Archive is really, really innovating like this. You know, like you can see this kind of stuff in digital card games if you play games like, you know, Shadowverse, which releases like mini expansions that are tacked on to regular expansions that add like new cards into the meta. This is kind of like that, but it's free, right? And that I think is like the coolest part, right? That the cards are very, very player friendly. Just print them out, stick them on a Grand Archive card, and you're good to go for a full year. And then of course you just get the card, which like I said, they did say before that you can pick them up at like official events, and we'll have to see if they provide other ways to obtain the cards. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say. I think this is brilliant. I think this is where I like to see innovation in card games go. You know, it's like furthers the TCG space in ways that other card games either don't think about or aren't willing to do. Some games that are like so old and set in stone that they aren't willing to do something, you know, innovative like this. And I think this is truly innovative. It's an awesome way to like inject like freshness into the meta without having to like, you know, being like, okay, we'll put it in the next set, and you have to literally buy like boxes of the next set or singles or whatever to get the cards. But they're like, no, we can just do it now, and you just print it out and you're good to go. No, it's so good. It's really, really good. So curious to know what you think in the comments down below. I'm not really going to talk about the actual bans here. They banned a few cards a little while ago here. They banned Sword of Avarice and Reckless Conversion. If you want my overall opinions on that, I think it's good. I think it's good. These cards are both pretty degenerate, and I think could lead to even more degenerate stuff in the future. And you still have all options for a sword because you have your drawn blade. And anyway, I do not hate these bans. And here's more cards to watch out for. I'm actually really liking Vark right now because it makes it so people can't prevent my fire damage, and I just get to burn you out. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching. Like I said, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and let me know what you think of Grand Archive in general. If you're playing Grand Archive right now, I think the game is doing incredibly well. And out of all the Kickstarter games to come out, I think this one is the one that's like really, really doing it. Yeah, it's so great to see it grow and progress. And the new set, Alchemical Revolution, looks incredible. So, yep, that's the video. Oh, I should announce too, I've already announced this before, but hey, if you are interested in trying out Grand Archive, we're going to be hosting a starter deck event on the Rogues Gallery Discord shortly after Alchemical Revolution comes out, with official prize support from Grand Archive. It'll be a great way to learn how to play the game. We will not have competitive pricing. It is participation pricing, and just a good way to learn and have fun and hang out with the community. So thanks so much, everyone. See you next time.